Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I'm going to talk to you because I introduced something to you in my last video, a thought that I had, and it seems to be connected with a bunch of other thoughts, perhaps connected to a dream. When I see on television Donald Trump's attitude, his demeanor, it reminds me of something that I have in some type of contact or connection with from before. It's not Hitler, maybe something in the tone of Joseph Stalin or Lenin or even Mussolini. And my hair seems to be quivering about my body as though it's trying to tell me that danger is at bay. And my fear is for you, the American people, and perhaps the people of the world. You have really allowed yourselves to go a long way. On the one hand, you have progressed beyond your imagination. And I say that because you got some things in works that are lying dormant in your minds, except that you put it on paper. And on the other hand, you've regressed. It seems as far away in a negative sense. Some might call it the rabbit hole, the depths of craziness, lovelessness. And so you're at one extreme, the other. And this danger that you're in is, unless the people change, is going to win out. And that is because the world in which we live in, even the United States, it exists on the principle of greed. Greed. There is enough of ways and means for everybody on earth, if they choose to live luxuriously, can. And the world to be peaceful. And people would have all their needs met. And their wants would be, if they aren't met, would be in the process of being met. And their desire will be satisfied. That's what basic human rights for all people is about. But in a scenario like that, and I know just as you heard me say it, you begin to feel chills over your body from how wonderful such a thing could be if you were in the midst of it. But on the other hand, with greed, somebody was not satisfied at the way things were. You seemed to be just as good a shape as they were. And they didn't like that. And they had made that judgment based on the fact that your needs were met, their needs were met, your desires were satisfied, their desires almost satisfied. But it wasn't, because they didn't want you to be as thrilled and as satisfied as they. So they began to come up with ways that, since they were basing this on material things and prestige and all that other good stuff, and I'm speaking not in biblical expressions, but in our daily expression, which references those times as well. So they would try to do things to bring you down in any way they could, and at a way that was beneficial to them. And that started coming from the highest level all the way down. Ages, they might stay at a level, then a few ages later they come further down and down until they're down in the abyss. But you, my friends, who have allowed yourself for one reason or another, basically because you've been trained this way, there's one thing about it. People will follow training. Animals follow training. Dogs follow training. And babies will follow training. And if you do it right, teenagers will follow training. And if the training is good, you'll have good. If the training is messed up, you'll have things that's messed up. Well, there have been times when I'm sure that we were good. But there have been times when we were bad and good. Now I think it's when we're at our worst. When we think that we're at our best, we are really at our worst. And to have a president in the White House who could possibly be, and I'm not saying that he is, I said I had a vision of it, like Stalin, Lenin, and these kinds of guys. That means that you have sank down to the level that they are. They are greedy. That means they don't care about anybody. And you, the people, have become greedy. And you don't care about anybody. Because if you cared about anybody, you could see what was happening. You could see beyond Donald Trump. And if you still think you could see, I'm asking you, do you see this? Do you see the congressmen in the House of Representatives, the U.S. House of Representatives? Do you see the congressmen, the senators, who are backing, who are supporting the activities of this man, waiting for him to crack? And when he cracks, they're going to try to act like they didn't have anything to do with it, and they brought him all this way. And everybody who supports him and what he's trying to do, that is a negative thing. Now, everything that he's trying to do is not negative. There's some good things he's trying to do. That's the cover. Those few good things are the cover. But the real thing that is ugly, and that ugliness is walking step by step and carried by you. As I mentioned, here is hypocrisy. Flynn, one of the president's advisors, they caught him in a lie. Then you had to play like you were a legitimate moral nation. So he had to go. But on the one hand, he wanted to go looking good, like he resigned. On the other hand, the head figure wanted to make sure he looked good. So if the word comes out that he was released, he was fired, so to speak. And it doesn't matter, because once those two approaches get out there, there are going to be those who are going to believe either or. If you want to believe the president, you're going to believe him. You want to believe the other guy, you're going to believe him. But at least you're getting the word out there. And you accept this stuff. With all of the hurt and pain that's going around, I want you to know this. The God Almighty of the universe, who prepared it that every last one of us could live in heaven right here, is not pleased. For you ladies, you have sank so low. For you men, you have sank so low. Now you can fill out the sentence. But in reality, God looks at you as no different than the people that you put down. For instance, a lady is a prostitute. A person who got a executive job, female, dressed well and stuff like this, go to work, get a paycheck, and got to turn no tricks. They think that they are better than the prostitute. But in God's eyes, you are no better than the prostitute. You see, if you don't like what prostitutes do, if you find something ugly in it, then you must believe that it is ugly. And when you see a woman engaging herself in prostitution, she is doing something that's ugly. And in order for her to be doing something ugly that you yourself would not do, there got to be some powerful forces. So a caring person would want to know what those forces are and would do everything they possibly can to eradicate those forces. Why? Because she cares about the prostitute. That's what God's looking for. God's not looking for you to ride around in your car so you say, God blessed you, when the person across the street from you, walking, got holes in his shoes, and you smiling, talking about how wonderful God is to you. Well, you sure not showing any kind of God to the people, especially one over there with her shoes with holes in it. No, you might be tripping, thinking that nice car and that nice house is a statement. No, it's to that woman or that person that's suffering. Yeah, you're a part of the problem. Now, I'm saying these things to you because if Donald Trump overthrows this government, I can see the Congress allowing it to happen. I can see you, the people, waking up with your mouth open, all shocked like you didn't know what was going on. You don't believe this. And Congress sitting back talking about, well, we tried, and there are going to be some people out there talking about we're going to try to eradicate this, and Donald Trump going, if he would ever walk this road, he'd shut that stuff down. You'd see what's happening in North Korea. They kill the opposition. Even in this country, when people represent the goodness of life, the goodness of the way things should be, they are killed. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Let me tell you another part of that secret. They are killed because those who run the world and love it the way it is don't want that message out. So they take the initiative to kill them. But that is not, you can't kill anybody unless you get permission. And for a person that's doing a wonderful thing, in order for God to permit you to kill that person, is because it is a blessing. This person has done what angels do. And God wouldn't leave them there in this hell. So don't get upset thinking you don't want to die. You probably are not fit to die for God at this state. You got to clean up. And clean up is not saying you stop going out, you stop smoking, you stop chasing the opposite sex. That's the stuff you do for yourself. But what you do for God is being that to somebody else, to help in every way you can, not just an individual, even though that is great, but there are certain actions that represent the whole entirety of the human race. Focus on those as well. I think I'll go now. But watch out. If Donald Trump overthrows this government, all of you allowed it to happen. Every last one of you. Every last one of you allowed it to happen. You could have stopped the man. You could have called him out of office. You could have treated him like he was your loving brother and made sure that he had to suffer for nothing, but that his greed would stop with him because you would not allow it to go any further. And when I'm talking about Donald Trump, I'm talking about all the people in the world who have robbed you. You know who they are. Every last one of them, you know who they are. They cannot hide. Bye-bye.